Okay, Bafetu, it's another day where we go deep into the Bafana Bafana squad that was at the FIFA World Cup. What happened there and what could have happened but didn't happen, and how it was supposed to happen and why it didn't happen. So yeah, welcome back to another episode where we dig deep. Here's the thing. First of all, Hugo Broos doesn't want to, resign. Like he said, initially before we went to the World Cup, he said this is going to be his last competition with Bafana Bafana because he feels like he has done everything. He has taken us to CAF several times, and he has now taken us to the World Cup. And in the World Cup, luckily, we were able to get out of the group stage for the first time ever. For the first time ever, he made history with the boys, and that is commendable. But the one problem that I have with this thing is I don't know if he feels like there's still anything he can offer us beside what we have seen now. We've seen the Bafana Bafana under Hugo Broos. It's not like we've not improved. We have improved from where he found us, from the years where we couldn't even qualify for CAF. World Cup was just something. It was a dream that we thought it was something that we either it's unattainable or it's something that we're gonna get there in the next 50 years. Not sure what would have happened then differently, but we thank him so much for the services that he has done. And it's not like we don't see the work that he has done. He has put us at a stage where Bafana Bafana is that team that we used to hear about before we started watching football, or before we were even born. You know, the times of Dr. Kumalo, the times of Lucas Hadebe. This is a glimpse of what we got. I mean, we managed to get that with the current players that we have. At this World Cup, judging Hugo Broos' performance, first of all, he did something we did not expect, taking Bafana Bafana out of the group. But bear in mind that the first game was a game that was winnable for Bafana Bafana. I've said that in the previous video. I said we lost a game we were not supposed to lose. That game was not even there for us to draw. It was there for us to win. But somehow, things ended up the way they did because he was too conservative. And he tried to play for a draw, which it didn't help anyone at the end of the day. We ended up conceding 2 silly goals because of mistakes that were done, but also the formation was wrong. Second game, Czechia Republic, we played so well. We showed intention. We wanted to win. We approached the game with positivity, but it just wasn't to be because initially when we started, before the players could even get into their rhythm, they conceded a silly goal again. But I liked the comeback. I liked the spirit, and the way we finished the game was the way I felt like it's the way we know we can play. We have players who can hold the ball, move the ball, pass the ball. That's how we play. We don't play haram football. But somehow we ended up seeing Hugo Broos fielding 5 defenders. I mean, what the heck is that? How do you field 5 defenders in games where you can see? I mean, okay, fine. We'll get to the Canada game. The South Korea game, we played very well. I feel like we controlled the game, the pace of the game. And us controlling the pace of the game meant that, even though there were some transitional moments where South Korea could have scored, but for majority of the game, that's where you were able to see that these Bafana Bafana boys can play. And why didn't we play like this the game against Mexico? Okay, we get out of the group, we win the game thanks to Maseko, who I don't want to say a lot, but he helped us. But at the same time, I kind of felt like he was holding back, because in a team, at some point, as much as you can score, you need to understand that it is not all the time where you're supposed to shoot, where you're supposed to eliminate all the players. There's the reason why you're not playing alone. There are 10 more players that you're playing with. And with Maseko, as much as he scored, but there was a lot of element where he showed selfishness, where he could have passed the ball to his teammates, but he chose to take on so many players. He chose to want to shoot until he got that lucky goal. Yes, it's history in the making. We thank him and all that. But if we are to get anywhere as Bafana Bafana, we need to make sure that every chance that we get in such tournaments, because there are so many elements of that game where we could have scored many goals, but we ended up slandering and squashing a lot of chances. Now we go to the game where we got knocked out in the last 32. It was a winnable game as well. I kind of felt like it was that game against Mexico where we started very well, we played very well, we dictated the pace. I don't know what happened, but as much as we were not getting into the third end of the pitch, where our creative players were not getting the ball, we kind of managed the game. We were just managing the game. And second half, where we are now supposed to start playing how we normally play, Hugo Broos takes out Rhulani Mokwena. That was something that I didn't expect. And as much as I'm not a coach, but there are certain instances where in the second half, if you are trying to win a game, you know there are some players that you do not take out, more especially when you don't have that much creativity on the bench. Because truth needs to be said, we went to the World Cup with a lot of defenders. We went to the World Cup with a lot of middle fielders who are not creative. That's why there were so many people who were saying, why did we leave Lodge behind? Because why did we leave Maboe behind? As much as, yes, he's a holding middle fielder, but he can still pass the ball to the other players. He can make us play. And we took Tembazwani, and the unfortunate happened on the first game, that red card. Let's hope he will learn from it. And yeah, man, the way we were knocked out on the dying minutes of the game, it's something that I was looking forward to the penalty kicks, extra time and penalty kicks, so we can see the best of Ronwen Williams. But it wasn't to be, and it kind of had, because it was a game which we could have won. But we got to a moment where when he introduced Mbata into the game, yes, we started playing, but we were not really making anything in the Canada half. So it was more like we're just trying to balance the game until where Canada introduced Alfonso Davis and the other guy by the name of David. And they changed the game for Canada. And that's what we also needed. We needed a player from the bench, an impact player from the bench who can come in, change the game for us, and at least create for the attackers. Our strikers, I don't want to say much. They're not ready for the big competition. And I kind of feel like it's because some players were not given enough time to, gel with the squad, get used to playing with the squad, knowing who is our out-and-out striker. Because Foster, yes, he plays abroad, he plays for a good team, but whenever he's in the Bafana Bafana squad, he always struggles. Mahopa is that player who excels when he is playing with wingers who are having the ball, because he is able to create space for the wingers, allow them to play. But that's what happened, man. That's what happened. Bafana Bafana was knocked out in the round of 32. I don't know what you guys thought of the formations that we used and the approach that was used, but going back to the Hugo Broos issue, Hugo Broos did so much for us. We thank him, but I feel like he has hit the ceiling. We've seen everything from him, all the tricks, and I don't think he's the right guy to take us forward. Yes, he's the right guy now for the level where we are in, level where I don't even know if we can compete. We can qualify, but we're not at a level where we can compete. And I don't want to throw in names. I know there are people with possible names that can replace him, but I kind of feel like there are other people who can now take the project from where Hugo Broos has put it to a step further, where we can now start challenging, where we can play the football that we know we can play. Because we do have the players. It's not an issue of us not having players. Yes, we might not have that proven striker who can score 30 goals a season, but we have players who can compete. We've seen it with the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns in Africa. They've contested, even when they went to the FIFA Club World Cup in America, they contested, they competed. But with the Bafana Bafana squad and the approach of Hugo Broos, I feel like we're just there, like people who are even qualified, but we do not have belief that we can win. And which is something that I feel like SAFA now needs to make a decision. They need to make a big man decision. Thank Hugo Broos. If there's a position they can give him, it's fine. But for the role of head coach, I feel like he has done enough. I don't know what you guys think, but you can leave your comments down below and tell me if you really think, yes, Hugo Broos has done so much, but do you guys really think he is the right person to take us forward? Do you guys think we can ever win AFCON? Do you guys think we can win it with Hugo Broos, or we need someone like, Rhulani, someone like Pitso, someone like, you guys will add more names. I don't know, but you guys will add more names that you guys feel like Benny McCarthy is there. Somebody who can take us forward and give us that something, vavavoom, to like, okay, at least you can now challenge. You have the players, you've been qualifying, now it's time to challenge. Or maybe do we need a European coach, like other people are saying? There are some coaches. Is he done somewhere there? You leave your comment down below, and like and subscribe for more content. Danko.